Joining us now live from Mumbai, Sunny Gavaskar. Sunny, thanks so much for joining us. Firstly, we've seen them lose a one-day series to Bangladesh, then the T20 series to South Africa, now the ODI series to South Africa. All's not quite well with this Indian limited overs team. Would you agree?
Well, yes, you're right in saying all is not well, but there are plenty of positives as well. But I think the major worry for the Indians is their bowling attack, because batting has always been the strength. But when the bowlers have chipped in, then the Indian team has looked unbeatable. Here, I think that they struggled in the T20 as well as in the 5 limited overs matches with their bowling, and perhaps that's the reason why they have had such a huge defeat today.
Right. A word on Dhoni's captaincy in the last few months. Have you noticed a kind of sameness creeping in, missing that old spark?
Well, I think, he seems to have, even in the past, he seems to have pretty set ideas about how to rotate bowlers. Hasn't really looked to do something out of the box. Though I think, earlier on when he used to bring in somebody like a Rohit Sharma or a Suresh Raina to bowl, that looked a little bit, out of the box, because, those were not regular bowlers. But no, I think it's pretty set ideas, and I think that's the reason why there was no flexibility. But having said that, you've also got to take into account the fact that he didn't really have the bowlers. And this wicket today particularly, was a very, very good one to bat on. And that's why South Africa piled up this, humongous score.
Right. Saima, would you say that the Indian team missed its Neil Armstrong in the last few games? I mean, how much has Ashwin's injury played a role in India losing this series?
I think it's played a huge role because I think even in that first one-day game, having taken the wicket of Quinton de Kock in the first over that he bowled, that he was removed from the attack and allowed the other players to settle down. I think that really has been a big setback, because he's really been in the top of his form. So I think my honest advice to the Indians is to nurse him well. To make sure that he's not prone to injuries, which also means that you don't really overbowl him. You use him well. Unfortunately, of course, the incident that happened, the injury that happened because of the fact that he dived, and maybe in doing so he might have done some damage. But I think, as I said, the Indians would do well to nurse him back to full fitness. Let him not rush into anything. A side strain is something that can stay with you for a long time. And it was a little bit, even when he was with the team for the second and third games. For the third game, he seemed to be, bowling a bit. I know he's very keen, but he really shouldn't be doing anything that'll not help him to recover quickly enough for the test matches.
Okay, Saima, you mentioned earlier how this pitch was really flat. Now, I know in India it is a situation, it's left up to the state association to prepare the pitch. We discussed this earlier after the Chennai ODI. Should India have more turning pitches, because they looked very dominant in Chennai playing on a turning track. Yet we see a flat pitch. Couldn't the state association here to have provided a turning track? A fair wicket, all right, but a turning track.
I think there was turn in the pitch. As we saw when Harbhajan was bowling, there was a bit of turn. When Amit Mishra was bowling, there was a bit of turn. But this was a pitch where there was a little more carry as well. So when you have a little more turn and a little more carry, the ball comes onto the bat quite nicely. The problem really has been India's new ball attack. Have a look at how many runs Mohit Sharma and Bhuvneshwar Kumar conceded. If you do not get wickets at the top of the order, which India has not done in this series, then you struggle. Even when the spinners come and when the ball is turning, it's not easy for the spinners to finish the job.
Okay, now let's just talk about the batting today. Apart from Indian bowlers not doing the job, the batting was great. When the ODI rules were changed earlier this year, most of us thought that more fielders outside the circle in the last 10 would mean less runs. But this South African team, led by AB de Villiers, is defying that logic.
Well, because they were not interested in the fielders and the extra fielder, because they were all hitting it into the crowd. So there was, even if you had about 10 fielders on the boundary, it wouldn't have made a difference. And that again is the kind of attack that we had, the kind of quality that we dished out today was pretty ordinary. Some of the short pitch stuff, when you're bowling at about 135 kilometers per hour, is really begging to be punished on a pitch where the bounce was true, ball was coming onto the bat quite nicely. So the South Africans and Australians generally are so used to playing the short pitch delivery that, you know, when it comes to them at about 135 kilometers per hour, it really is easy. Unless you're going to be bowling 145 plus and banging it in short, getting the ball up to the shoulder, you're going to struggle to trouble the batsmen from South Africa and Australia.
Okay, let's talk about the man of the series, AB de Villiers. He became the first batsman in the history of ODI cricket today to average 50 plus and also have a strike rate of 100 plus. Is he then the Viv Richards of the current generation then in that regard, you know, because he's scoring at a frantic pace combined with consistency?
Well, he's Superman. I think he's incredible. Some of the shots that he played today were absolutely magical. But I think the secret of his success lies in his positioning, the way he gets into position very quickly. He seems to be able to read the bowler's mind, seems to be able to know where exactly the bowler is going to bowl, and therefore is ready, literally, you know, before the ball seems to be delivered. Now, when you have a batsman like that who's actually read the bowler's mind and is in position, then he can play the shots anywhere, and that's exactly what he did. So India better find some answers for him when the Test series starts. Otherwise, you know, they will be in for a leather hunt in the Test series as well.
Okay, now in cricket, Sahibhai, you know very well, batsmen end up hogging all the limelight, but we won't be unfair to this bowler, Rabada. Do you think he's been the find of this particular series?
Definitely, most definitely. I think he's been very, very impressive. He's also very down to earth, very humble. He's 20. He's giving a lot of credit to his seniors, to AB de Villiers himself, to Dale Steyn and all the other senior players in the team, saying that he's like a sponge. He's trying to feed and learn from the others. And if he stays that grounded, then he's going to be some sensation, because he's got the pace. And also, more importantly, he knows when to bowl which delivery. Look at that delivery that he bowled to Suresh Raina. He banged it in a few short ones, and then he saw that Raina was moving towards the off stump and maybe leaving the leg stump exposed. So he banged a Yorker on the base of the stumps. Now that takes some doing, and I think when you're able to do it at the age of 20, then I think wickets and wickets and wickets is going to be against his name in just about every match that he plays. He's a fantastic find. I think South Africa are very, very lucky to find somebody like him.